So Saturday featured a lot of greats. We had big hits.
They do a great job of overloading that right side of the offensive line.
We had big plays.
Pressure, McCarthy throws, caught, down the sideline, Loveland breaks it in, touchdown Wolverines.
We had turnovers.
Jackson, and that one deflected and intercepted.
Touchdowns.
Corum in here near the goal line.
Second down, here's Corum looking for the end zone and has it.
And more. But also, we had that ugly first quarter for Michigan. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at it, it's 52-7. It's a fantastic game for Michigan, but it was one of the most unique first quarters that we have seen from them, as Indiana had 3 drives before Michigan was able to put points up on the board. By the time that the first points of the game were scored by Indiana, the Hoosiers had 141 offensive yards to Michigan's -8. The offensive line was super uncharacteristic in letting sacks happen all throughout the game. That is a huge factor that they're going to have to count for and work on moving forward. Really, outside of that first quarter, the game was fantastic. But as I talked about in the preview episode, these are perfect examples of things that Michigan needs to be careful of. Because if they were playing other opponents, that would have been a chance for them to put up 14, 17, even 21 points before Michigan would have even had any on the board. Now, you can look at me and you can say, hey, that's a bit of a stretch, but really is it? With how slow and flat-footed the team came out, they seemed like they were an autopilot. And that first quarter was nothing spectacular. The only good thing that really came out of it was the chance play of getting a tipped pass to get an interception and avoid Indiana from putting more points on the board. But definitely celebrate the win. They did a good job. They rebounded. It was a lot smoother of a transition than what you saw with the Bowling Green game, which was mistake after mistake after mistake. This game, even though they weren't having huge errors and mistakes and they were just having a slow start, they didn't give up and they dominated the remaining of the game. I don't think the first quarter is going to be something that we have to be super concerned about moving forward. I think it was more of a fluke situation and more of an unusual circumstance for the team, but is nice that happens now against opponents like Indiana so that Michigan can keep it fresh in their minds and not let things like that happen in the future. This team is excellent, but they are far from perfect, and they need to be mindful of that each week. I do believe that they have that mentality, but when you're blowing teams out like they are, and you are 7-0, and you're coming off of the 2022 and the 2021 seasons, you have to keep your head on straight and focused week to week and not look ahead. And definitely this week is going to be an interesting one, as we will be talking about Michigan State for the preview episode later on. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us each week. I know that we've got some new followers here, so I hope that you enjoy the weekly episodes and the highlight shorts that are posted after the games on Saturdays. We'll be doing our breakdown for MSU here, as is Michigan State week later on. But until that episode comes out, I hope your week is fantastic. And as always, go Blue.